So this episode, we're talking about expenses. Do you really, and I am talking to you, do you really know how much you spend out on your business? Do you know line by line what's going out of your account every single month? And that might be your bank account, your PayPal account, a credit card or cash. Do you know exactly to the penny of what goes out and what you are paying for? Because if you don't know what your expenses are, you 100% need to listen to this episode. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but at the same time, can you imagine if you listen to this and you save yourself £10, £20 a month? That's £120, £240 a year just off your bottom line on your expenses. So have a listen. Let us know what you think. Hello and welcome to the Small Business Podcast for small businesses. Today, I thought we'd talk a bit about business expenses. So basically talking about money. So we've done bookkeeping before, we've talked a bit about self-assessments, talked about accounts, which I know isn't I think I said at the time in the episode, it's not the most exciting episode in the world. However, it is really, really important. So if we can talk about money and your expenses, because as one very successful businessman once told me, if you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. So it's really, really important to know exactly what you're paying out for. And we look after a number of local businesses. We go through their bookkeeping, we help them out, sometimes a bit of project work, so they need us as a bit of a one-off, or it's ongoing, and we look after their accounts on a monthly basis. So I thought I could just go for an episode to prompt and give you a bit of a list of what to look out for and what to do. Because the majority of businesses, when you set up or have the idea of a small business, it's very, very rare that you've got lots of money in the bank. So when you start looking at setup costs, you're setting up and you're trying to set up a very lean business, because whether it's product or service based, there's certain things you need. So you'll definitely need a phone. You'll definitely need a laptop or something to look after emails. If it's product, you will need the actual products in terms of what you're making or what you're buying and selling. So you'll need money for stock. If it's a service-based business, there might be tools, equipment. What do you need to use to do your job, which is direct costs. So that's all really, really important. We, as you might already know, we used to have a space on the high street. So we had a retail outlet. It was a co-working space. So when we set up and opened the shop, we obviously had rent. We had to buy furniture. We had to pay for our utilities. So it was all these extra costs that went into running the business and running the co-working space. So it's important to know when you set up exactly what you need and don't need. Because it's all well and good, and let's talk about Dave down the pub again, where you will speak to Dave down the pub or ask someone else for their advice, and they'll go, oh yeah, we had to do this, we had to do that. And you've got to remember whether you have to do something or whether you don't have to do it. And legally, and to comply with legislation that is in your trade, product, service, do you actually need it or not? So, for example, a gas engineer will need a gas registration and gas safety certificate. They pay a lot every year, every few years, to get re-registered, retested, because they're dealing with gas. And there's a lot of different trades, companies, products, like product testing. And whether it's legislation or professional certificates, there is certain things you need. So like a chartered accountant needs to be qualified. They need to be trained. For example, the bookkeeping and the things I do, I'm a registered agent with the HMRC, and I have to pay for my anti-money laundering registration with the HMRC every single year. And that's something I pay to do. So you'll notice when you're doing your market research of what you're setting up and looking how other people do it, what do they have? Do they have certain qualifications? Do they have to meet certain legislation or have pay to professional bodies, training? What is it? Because that's what you want, because it gives you that okay to what you're doing. It is more than a tick box. It is exactly that, what you need. So like gas safe or an electrician, and the training and certificates that they need to perform at their best. And the professional bodies, they need to be a part of. So that's the first thing. So that's completely trade, product, service dependent. So no matter what you're doing, that's very, very specific to what you're doing. So that's important to know, and that's very, very important to pay out, because straight away, when you're quoting for jobs, you're not just quoting for doing that job in 20 minutes. You are quoting because you've got registered with the professional body, you've had the training, you know how to do that job in 20 minutes, whereas it might take someone else 2-3 hours. And that's really important to remember when it comes to pricing and including those expenses in your pricing. The other thing when you're setting up is step one, after the legal side of things, and it might be if you've got staff, you might need HR and contracts, you might need help with someone to help write your contracts. Legally, yes, you can write your own contracts, but also there are other bodies and professional bodies out there to do that. So that's another thing that is worth paying, because you get what you pay for at the end of the day on anything whatsoever. So it's really, really important to have that in place as well. So once you've set up and you've opened your doors, or you've started your business, or you're going out and about and working at people's houses, whatever it might be doing, or manufacturing, whatever you're doing, then it's how you're going to report that. How are you going to do your accounts? What are you going to do? How are you going to record these expenses and record the income as well? So I have a lot of people come to me saying, oh, I've set up QuickBooks, or I've set up Xero, or whatever accounting software that you might need. Now, Making Tax Digital is coming for self-assessments in the next 2 years. But other than that, unless you're VAT registered, and there's many reasons for and against VAT registration, as well as you have to be VAT registered once you hit over 90k in a 12 months 90k turnover in 12-month period. But it's then, do you need software? So it all comes down to what that software, like absolutely any software you're using, how does it save you time? Because every single piece of software's got a cost to it. But does that save you time? Can that software automate stuff and do stuff quicker than you would do it yourself? And this is something to take into consideration of whatever you're doing, because your time is ultimately precious. You don't want to come down to the fact that you're charging out per hour. You want to come down to the fact you're charging out per project or product or service, whatever it might be, because once you get that hourly rate, your time becomes too precious, and all of a sudden you'll be doing your accounts or bookkeeping or admin, and then like, hang on a second, I could be earning more rather than doing this. So that's really, really important, and that comes into expenses as well when you're working out your pricing for that. So software, what software do you need to sign up to? Now, if you are just doing a self-assessment and you're under what will be 30k when Making Tax Digital comes along, you're not sending out invoices that you need to chase or record, because it comes down to the volume of work you're doing. If you're regularly having to send out invoices, and then it's trying to keep track of who's paying and what and when and who you need to chase, that's when accounting software comes in really, really helpful. The same with submitting tax returns, recording CIS, recording PAYE. That's really, really important. So it's classic that it's worth speaking to someone who knows, because again, Dave down the pub will go, well, I did it like this, I needed Xero for this. Unless your businesses are exactly the same, no one's going to give you the right advice. You would need to speak to a professional about this, and it's whether it's accountant or bookkeeper or someone who works with accounting software and looks at money on a regular basis. That's really, really important. So that goes into any software. It's the same with whether you're talking about what computer to use, what emails to use, what email you're going to set up, whether you want to email so it's Farley at Breakout email, or whether you're just going to have Farley at Gmail. Whatever it is, all of that comes into consideration, because there is a cost to some of that you need to be aware of. And that then depends on how much you need it. How much is it going to benefit you and your business having Farley at Breakout rather than Farley at Gmail? Now, we do pay for a domain, so we pay for hello at breakout.longmelford.co.uk, but we just have that one email. So all emails come into us, and that was really important to me. So our customer service is spot on, because we try and reply to emails as quickly as possible within a 24 or 48 hour period. It's really important to us. So That's why it works for us rather than having Farley app, because if someone emails me, I might not pick it up for 2-3 days. And that's not the level of customer service we expect or want to do. So software is a really, really important one. The same with IT support and backup on websites, and whether you need a website. Straight away, where's your target market? Where are you going to sell? Do you need that? You will need a phone, no doubt about it, so people can ring you. But is that how you're taking orders? Are you taking orders through a website? Well, in that case, you do need a laptop, so you can manage your emails, you can manage your website, you can manage your stock. So have a look and consider what cost that needs to be, what needs to be included in that. And then for all of these, no matter what it is, it's really important to get 2, 3, or 4 quotes. Don't just get one quote. Don't just get one price from anyone. We've had some really unfortunate charges through clients. Clients have come to us and they've just gradually, the price has been put up to them again and again and again. And ultimately they are overpaying for a service that they need, but they don't need that level of service. Or someone's just put the price up because they've never requoted or rechecked what they should be paying. So that's really important as well. And ongoing expenses. So anything you're paying monthly for, are you getting the best deal? And when I say the best deal, it's not the cheapest deal, it's the best value deal. What are you getting for your money? What's the value of that output of what you're getting back? Again, really, really important to keep checking that and keep looking at that. It's like your insurance every year. Always ask for a requote and always compare insurance, because ultimately they will just keep putting it up because they can. So if you don't go anywhere or look elsewhere, there's no rewards to loyalty in big companies. Same with banks. Bank charges, they go up year on year on year. So it's really important to have a look at all of this and maybe pick one thing every couple of months to have a look at, requote, recheck. Are you getting the best service? Is that serving you and your business? Because anything like that should save you time or money or support you and grow your business in one way or another. Which, talking of growing your business, leads us very nicely onto marketing. Now, there should always be something you spend marketing on. Yes, social media is free, 100%. If you know what you're doing, you know where your target market is, which it might be on Instagram, it might be on LinkedIn, it might be on Facebook, wherever that target market is, and it's not everyone, it's not everywhere, that is really important to have that knowledge and experience to be able to post out consistently on social media. And it is consistency of good quality content. And when I say good quality content, what I mean by that is relevant content. So you're posting out about what you do. There's no point, if you sell scrunchies, to start talking about dogs and your pet dog, because your pet dog doesn't wear a scrunchie, they're not interested in a scrunchie. It's not what you should be talking about. You should be talking about the fabric, how you make them, a video of you making them, the kinds of fabrics, the styles, what type of fabric it is, how it's made, that it is handmade, what's the packaging like, how much is it, how it's packaged to be sent out, where do you send it to, are you found on markets, where can people buy it from? All of that is content. And I'm just talking about a scrunchie. So if you do different services, if you do a whole range of products, you will have absolutely plenty of content to put out there for your own marketing. However, yes, social media is free if you do it yourself. So like what we do, we can help people, we can do social media for them, or we teach people how to do social media, which is personally what I would rather do. Social media managers, don't all hate me, but the best person to do your own social media is you. It's not a social media manager unless you've got no interest in it whatsoever. If you're kind of a bit au fait with social media, you know what you're doing, yes, 100%, you should do your own social media. And we can train you to do that. There's normally only a bit of tweaks and bits and pieces that you might want to do, and change up to make sure your reach is consistent, but your best content will come from you, your products, how you do it, what you make, and it's all about you, because your tone of voice about those scrunchies will be different from someone else's tone of voice about those scrunchies. So we would rather teach you to do that. But don't get me wrong, I've got clients that want us to do their social media because they're just, do you know what? It's not something we're interested in. It's something we don't know. We know what our strengths and weaknesses are. So our weakness is social media. We're going to give it to someone else to do. So yes, that is free, but also you might need a bit of help in one way or another to do it. Another part of marketing might be, and don't forget, the local papers and parish magazines. If you run a very local community business and you are selling within the local community and your target market are the ones reading those magazines, that is where you want to be advertising and marketing. You want to spend an advert in there. Local gardeners, plumbers, tradesmen, different people who are in that town or village to provide a service to the residents. That is exactly where you want to be. Same with, and not the same, but the opposite to a website. So a website is obviously can be found anywhere on the internet. It is international. Yes, the domain is .co.uk to say you're in the UK, or it's .com, but anyone can find that website. So again, who is your market? Who are you speaking to? Is it that actually it is a whole range of products? So you want to be on the website. So you want to be on the internet with your website so anyone can find it, anyone can buy, and straight away they can click, buy, and you've got the order to process. So again, it's automating certain things. So the marketing's out there, they've found you and they've bought. So it's as quick as possible and quick and painless, but also saving you time and energy. Now, once you've got an idea about what your startup costs are, what your one-off costs might be, what your ongoing monthly costs might be, that's when you can build that all into your pricing. So don't necessarily just price on, I've bought a product, I'm adding one thing to it and reselling it. So one part of the product is £1, 150p, it's £1.50. Okay, my profit margin is going to be X. I might sell it for £3 or £4, whatever it might be. You haven't necessarily built in your time for that. And that's really, really important to consider your time. How long is it taking you to do something? And it might be that it takes you 2 seconds, but then it's volume. How many can you do in an hour? What's your hourly rate? But also fitting in that your direct cost for that product. If you're putting a product together and maybe you need a different place for that, so you need another space, you need to build in your rent, your utilities, all those overheads you need to build into the price of that product or service, whatever you're doing. Same with the training, with the tools. It's all really, really important. And just to know what your markup might be, what your profit margin might be, that is really, really key to getting that price right. Because if you don't, all of a sudden you will be on a negative and you will not be making any money. You have to make sure there's some profit in there so you can carry on. Everyone is paid, and especially you. And I hear you, small businesses, I bet you do not build your own money into there of what you need to take out the business. Again, so important, because if you don't, you'll soon find that everything's paid and then there's no money left for you. So why are you doing that? Are you doing it for the love, or what are you doing that for? So have I missed anything? Is there any other expenses that you've had? Anything you're not sure about? Is it a case of you're not sure that you're paying correctly? Maybe you signed up to something. Do you need it? Do you use it? We are available for all these kind of questions. And there's more information on our website to help with this, because it's really, really key to make sure you are not overpaying for stuff and you're not paying out for stuff you don't use. How many people have got Netflix subscriptions they don't use, or Disney subscriptions, or some other subscription you've signed up to and you get a box through the door once a month and you don't know what that is and you've probably never opened it? That is essential to your business to know, because that all builds into the profit margin and builds into the cost of the product or service or what it might be. So have a look through, maybe download just a month, just look back on the last month. What have you paid out for your business? And when I say for your business, is it for your business bank account? If you have one, if you're not limited, you don't have to have a business bank account. or your own bank account, or maybe you've bought on a credit card, you could spend out without even realizing. And as I said at the beginning, if you look after the pennies, the pounds look after themselves. So have a look, go through with a fine tooth comb, maybe just sit there give yourself like half an hour once a week, just have a look, have a highlight. Everyone loves a highlighter pen. Print out a bank statement or print out something and just make a list and see what's going out, and let us know how you get on. I'd be really, really interested to what you find. And if you immediately save yourself money, can you imagine if you find paying stuff out for expenses you just didn't realize you were paying for anymore? So have a look and let us know how you get on, because we can always share it at a later date. You might help someone else because they might not realise or might not have had a look and gone, oh yeah, I wondered what that was going out of my account every single month. And if you have got that, then it's definitely worth having a look through and cancelling anything, cancelling direct debits or orders or whatever it might be. So have a look, let us know how you get on. Let me know if I've missed anything as well. Are there key expenses to your business that I've not mentioned that you think are definitely you need to have? Or something I've said that you're like, do you know what? I don't even need that, which is absolutely perfect if you're not already paying it. So thanks for listening to Small Business Podcast for Small Businesses. Please tag and share, as always, to other small businesses who might need help with expenses. And as I say, we help with bookkeeping. We help with these kind of things on a project work or on a month-by-month basis. That is remote as well as if you're local to where we are. And as always, subscribe and like for us, and maybe write a review as well for the podcast, because if we've helped you in any way, that really, really helps a small business podcast like ours. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.